In this video, I'm going to show you how to use an AI agent to enrich any contact using their first name, last name, and company name. Whether you're doing CRM enrichment, lead qualification, or lead scoring, this approach can be a game changer. We've helped our clients generate over $1 million in qualified pipeline value by enriching leads who signed up with personal email to their product or website. These leads are mostly ignored by companies, and because of that, there's a lot of untapped revenue. Because very often people from large enterprise companies or mid-market companies sign up to your product using their personal email. And so you could enrich them, reach out to them, personalize the email, and turn them into valid sales opportunities in your sales pipeline. So with this method, you can identify who these people are, find their professional profiles online, and confidently qualify them automatically using an AI agent system. So on screen now, you see the whole workflow that we're going to go through today. From first name, last name, and company name, we'll get the agent to find this person in Google, locate their LinkedIn URL intelligently using a specific LLM, scrape their LinkedIn profile, and analyze their LinkedIn profile and reason for whether this LinkedIn profile that we found actually belongs to the right person who we wanted to find in the first place. And if that's the case, then the agent is going to sync this contact into our CRM. In this case, I'm showing an example with HubSpot, and I'll show you how to connect this agent to HubSpot, read and write CRM properties. So you could take this agent or similar agent and have it do anything in your CRM using large language models. If you haven't seen my previous videos, I have shown a multi-agent system, which is an AI BDR system that is a parent agent that delegates to a sales strategist. Part of the sales strategist is an enrichment step. So in this video, we're going to zoom into this enrichment step here. To build out our multi-agent system, we're using Relevance AI. This is the parent agent, an AI BDR that got triggered with a contact from Gong. This is a dummy email address. And as you see, we only know their contact name and company name. We're not going to use their email address. We only have this because this is going to be the unique ID in the CRM when the agent synchronizes into the CRM. And so when this parent agent gets triggered, it delegates to the sales strategist. Here you see all the steps this agent has taken. We can zoom into this agent. If I open it up on another tab, we'll see the actual research process. And this is the research result. Again, refer to my other videos. Now we are going to focus on this first tool. So as you notice, these are the only details, the only inputs that we had. So first name, last name, and company name. And this agent has used these inputs to run this tool. Now let's zoom into that tool and run this tool in the tool builder to see the individual building blocks. So I run the tool now and I'll come back once it runs. So the tool run has just finished. I'll open up the input tab. So we have a HubSpot account connected to the agent. I'll show the integrations later and how to configure it. It's just clicking a few buttons and pretty much drag and drop, low code. We have the first name, last name, company name, and email address here. These are details the agent filled out in this tool. We don't need the email address for the enrichment, but we will need the email as a unique ID in the CRM. So first, we run a Google search. We simply search for first name, last name, company name, LinkedIn. In this case, it's Shane Weiss Gong LinkedIn. As you see, it returns many results across 2 pages. I'm sure there are some other Shane Weisses here. So our job will be to identify whether we have found the right person. We get back the first result from this table. And then we have an LLM step that reasons for the right LinkedIn URL. You'll find that I have provided a bunch of LinkedIn URL examples, and this LLM step simply needs to go through this Google search result and reason for the right LinkedIn URL that it was supposed to find. It's going to figure out based on the LinkedIn URL structures, as well as I'll provide the first name, last name, and company name. And here we provide the Google search results. In the previous step, we got the first Google search result, which is important because Google ranks the most relevant searches. So that's why this could be interesting for the LLM when it's doing the reasoning. We're using GPT-4o mini, so we want to stay very low with the costs. And then it's going to do this investigative approach every time in its output. So I want to control the output every single time the agent runs this tool. This is going to be the output with the specific results from the given Google search result. And so finally, it has identified the LinkedIn URL. So this is chain-wise. It simply outputs this LinkedIn URL. This is another LLM step that outputs the LinkedIn URL from the identified LinkedIn URL heading. Very importantly, in this output, we have defined this heading. So every single time this tool runs, we will have this heading here. And then we have a LinkedIn scrape tool step. If we click on the data, first of all, we see that we are getting the user profile. So that's the method. And we're passing this final LinkedIn URL.answer, which is the LinkedIn URL that our previous LLMs have located on the scraped Google search. And here we can dive into the LinkedIn scrape results. I'm not going to spend too much time with this. You can stop the video. But we have company name, company domain, the company employee range, city and location details, the about section, experiences, and so on and so forth. If we wanted, we could run a personalization based off this, which we're doing later down the line in other building blocks of that agent. So for now, this tool is specifically focusing on enrichment and nothing else. In the next step, we have an LLM that reasons whether we have found the valid LinkedIn URL. So we provide the first name, the last name, and the company name, and the scrape LinkedIn profile information. We tell it to reason step by step. So that's a basic reasoning instruction. And we give it a matching process. So it has to compare the names, company descriptions, and the company names, and then it has to compare the domain names if it finds any. In this case, it can only cook with first name, last name, and company name. But if this LLM finds that the first name, last name, company name are exactly the same as it can see from the scraped LinkedIn results, then it's going to provide us with a final verdict. That's yes. So either yes or no. In the next step, we're outputting this final verdict. Again, we control this output. And if you look at the prompt, we have a final verdict here that it has to output every single time. And then we simply output the final verdict based on the previous analysis. And we will use this as a condition for subsequent steps. So if you look at this filter personal data tool step, it will only run if this previous tool step answer is yes. So otherwise, we don't get back the company LinkedIn, the LinkedIn URL, the company website, job title, country, city, and employee range. But if this is yes, if the final verdict is we have scraped the relevant LinkedIn profile, then we proceed. And this is the final result here. In valid LinkedIn data filtered, we output this table here. And finally, we synchronize everything into HubSpot. So we either create or update a contact. And again, this tool step will only run if the final verdict was yes. We provide our OAuth ID, which comes from the top. You can connect your HubSpot account with a single click. And we also provide this mapping structure. If you're a no-code or low-code user, don't worry, this is just a simple mapping structure. We define the HubSpot property first, which is HubSpot _ LinkedIn URL, company, and employee range. Then we pass the variable from previous tool steps, such as valid LinkedIn data, filtered LinkedIn URL. This variable will be valid LinkedIn data .filtered .LinkedIn URL. So this here. And we will map this output with the HubSpot LinkedIn URL. I'll show you the HubSpot LinkedIn URL now. First of all, this is Nick Feeney from Loom, and these are the enriched results. So the website URL, the LinkedIn company name, and the region and employee range. And now I'll show you all the properties. So if you go to properties, and I've created a group called Enriched. enriched by agent. I'll view these properties. Let's look at LinkedIn URL. This is going to be the HubSpot LinkedIn URL. So we're referencing the internal names of these different properties in that tool. HubSpot LinkedIn URL is the LinkedIn URL in HubSpot. We reference that here, and we pass this LinkedIn URL variable output into this property, and we repeat the same with the rest. The company is taken from the other property with internal name company. I think it's going to be the company name. Yes. So the internal name of the company name is company. And we pass the company name into that. Now, this company name was originally defined at the top in the tool inputs, if you remember this here. So we can reference this with double curly brackets and company name. And the same for email address. The reason we need the email address is to be able to add this person to the CRM and map with the right CRM object, because that's going to be the unique ID. And you can get this create, update contact in HubSpot tool step from Relevance AI directly. I hope this video was useful. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Smash the like button or just give me a comment. I read all of them. My email is in my bio. If you have any questions, just let me know.